Hello friends, this video was recorded at a turning point for me where I was finally honest about my emotions and got them out of my system. I decided to leave some of the negative thoughts I had in the video because although they don't reflect my current mindset, I thought it may be helpful to see a realistic account of how we all struggle sometimes. Things start to feel a lot clearer towards the end, and I hope you watch all the way through so that you can see how positive change is possible. You are not your thoughts or your feelings. Thank you for being here. I hope this brings you peace. I have been feeling quite depressed recently, and I've been kind of coming out of it and now trying to figure out what is causing me to feel bad or negatively about life. And I think there was a time where I was so busy that when I wanted to look after myself, it was like such a privilege, and I really enjoyed like journaling, doing my skincare, like getting to bed early. It felt so good and I felt so lucky to be able to. But right now I'm at a point where it's like I'm in control of my time, and it's difficult for me to divide it without a structure being imposed on me. Like I just have this endless amount of time, and I think it's kind of giving me a lack of desire to do anything, because I think a lot of my motivation to do things is when I like almost can't have it. It makes you want it so much more. And now that I can literally spend all day in bed if I want, it's like I don't want to do anything. And I also find myself like going on social media so much more. My screen time has just absolutely ballooned. It's gone so much bigger than it was. And last night I deleted Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. It's like they're just gone. It's that easy. And I had deleted them before for quite a while, but the reason I re-downloaded them was because I felt like I should be working harder to promote my YouTube channel on other social media platforms to help it grow. But I wasn't really asking myself like, why do I want my channel to grow? Do I want more like recognition or more money or more like opportunities? I didn't really question it. It just felt like something I should do instead of something I actually wanted to do. And then even after I downloaded the apps, I didn't really make any effort to promote my channel anyway. I didn't post like creative videos on there. I just kind of spent my time scrolling and consuming things by other people. And that leads you to comparison. Like when you are constantly consuming other people's lives online and there's no filter and they only show the best bits, it's kind of like, even if you have a strong mind, how can you not begin to compare yourself even subconsciously? It's literally impossible, because you're going to be watching some completely random stranger you don't know anything about, and their life, you don't know if they had a good day, a bad day, because it's all so set up and fake and just like, But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm kind of just at a loss. I don't really have any discipline with myself to like stick to my own timeline or get my own things done, because I don't have a goal. I'm just kind of like aimlessly, mindlessly wandering through life. I thought it would be a good idea to try and build a routine. And for example, this morning I woke up at 6 a.m. and I was just thinking like, why am I awake? What am I going to do right now? I don't have anything to wake up for, so I just went back to sleep. That is just so sad. I want to wake up and feel so excited for the day and know what's ahead, but I feel like everything is just a mess. Everything is just, there's no order. Being present in my day-to-day life is just something I've completely lost, and what makes it worse for me, I think, is knowing that the version of myself that loved all these things and felt much happier is so fresh in my mind because she exists in my previous videos for the world to see. She's still there, and so that comparison of social media to real life thing is almost happening between me and my former self in a way. I can't even escape myself because she's out there journaling and sitting in the sun and being happy, and I'm here. I also think that there are some factors or just things in life that I give far too much power over my emotions. I feel like I don't have as much personal space as I once did, and it's difficult to kind of readjust to living with other people after you've lived alone for a while, which is, of course, I'm sure it's a normal experience. I'm not alone in that, but I'm just overall tired of letting external factors influence my mood and therefore my entire day, and those days turn into weeks and months, and then time passes and I realise I've not been living. I've kind of just been existing. So I'm filming on my new camera, by the way. This is my first time like properly using it, which is exciting. I have had enough of this. If I don't put a stop to the way I'm feeling, I will just remain like this. In the past, I could attribute my feelings to university, like, oh, I have an assignment due, or oh, my semester's coming to an end and then I have exams, and it's like, after that I will feel happy. And I kept delaying my happiness for no reason. Like, I was giving these excuses to myself that at the time I didn't even realise were excuses. I just thought that was like a true barrier to feeling happy and relaxed and calm and thankful. Like, I just thought, oh, I'll feel better when this is over, but then it is over and now I am just like an empty vessel. Like, I'm not crying every day. I get up every day and I shower and I eat and I talk to people and I go to the gym. Like, I'm not depressed like I once was, but I am sort of feeling this emptiness, and my life can't wait for me to figure things out. Like, time is passing me by, and if I don't do something, I will just regret it, because eventually I will figure things out, and I know that, and perhaps I will regret how much time I spent feeling this way. The time is now. Well, I've had breakfast and I've done my skincare, so I'm gonna go on my walk and I'm gonna think about what I want, everything I would do on the perfect day, and I'm gonna then, write it all down and work hard to make that day my everyday reality. So how far away should I hold it? I don't know. We'll see. This kind of thing will get easier. One thing I'm wondering is how people's arms don't get tired. Like, I don't have a tripod on it right now, but I'm guessing, like, I mean, you still have to support the whole weight of it. Maybe I'm just extremely weak. I'm also quite nervous that I'll drop the camera, but like, what if I fall? Like, if I fall, I'm not going to protect my head or my face, I'm going to protect the camera. We are on the floor. I'm eating a nari nigiri, and if you don't know what this is, it's like a sweet tofu pocket filled with rice. Oh, it's the best thing ever. I even think they're better the next day because the rice goes a bit hard. Here we have the trusty journal, which has become a bit neglected as of late. Okay. See, people used to ask me, like, what do you write in your journal? And I would literally just start with, like, I feel, or like, I did, today. Or it's really warm, or it's really cold. Or I'd use prompts, or I'll just make a list like I am now, like, Things I want to do daily. I will include the things I already do daily just so I can keep them, because I quite like having my walk. So, morning, walk. I also want to eat 3 nutritious meals. I'm starting with a personal trainer next week, and I know a lot of the work I do in the gym can only give me more muscles if I'm eating a proper diet and not just like fruit and what I want to eat. It's like sometimes you need some protein, so I'm going to be eating a lot of lentils. I'm actually making lentil dal tonight and fenugreek potatoes. I'm so excited. I want to meditate every day. I find when I'm building a routine, what works best for me isn't saying I'll do this at this time and this time and this time. What works for me is just to put them in an order I want to do them in, and as long as I do them in that order anytime, I feel like I've done it right. And that helps me move into the next thing easily as it becomes a routine and a habit. Every day it's like I wake up, I go on my walk. It's easy because I don't think about it, I just do it every day. So it's like, makes sense, you know? Once you can do something without thinking, it's perfect. So I think you can do that with any habit if you do it enough times. For meditation, I really like the apps Aura and Headspace. Both have different sort of styles. I really like Headspace for the podcasts they have, and I really like Aura because of all the different coaches you can really read about the actual people you're listening to. But they're both amazing. I recommend both. If you want to try, give them a go, because meditation helps you feel so good, and I literally know it does that, and then I still don't do it. Self-sabotage again. I also am desperate to add in Japanese study back to my routine, or just any language. Like I was learning French as well for a while, but because I'm planning on visiting Japan next year, I feel like now is a good time to get back to my Japanese study just so I can actually remember some terms by the time I go. One idea I had was I could listen to a podcast or like a Japanese language audiobook while I'm in the gym, or like I could practice my kanji in the gym, stuff like that, and then when I come home I can make some notes. That way it's like I'm accomplishing 2 things at once, and it doesn't take up extra time, so I won't have any excuse to not do it. Maintain a clean environment. I want to read before bed. Now, the most difficult thing for me currently to tackle is editing work versus living life. With stuff like this, I feel like trial and error is the only way forward. Like maybe I'll say for 5 hours in the middle of every day after I go my morning walk, but before I go to the gym I will do editing or research videos or make thumbnails or whatever, and then maybe after I go to the gym I'll edit different videos, because there's also a balance of like freelance editing versus my own editing. That's something I need to think more deeply about, because I suppose it depends on like the deadline and the project and just what you're feeling like in the moment. So I'm just gonna write edit/YouTube ? Hours. That one we will figure out. And the last one is kind of open. It is do something creative. I know editing could be classed as creative, but some days I just do a rough cut. Like I just cut all the footage down and it takes hours and hours, and then I don't actually do any music or text. So maybe some days I will work on my easel, which I've still not done yet. I wanted an art corner for so long and I've not yet utilised it. So definitely need to do that. Even just talking about this to the camera is, I feel in a way like journaling, because I can get my thoughts out perhaps in an even more efficient way than journaling, because I don't have to wait for my hand to write it. I'm just like having a constant stream of thoughts coming out, and it doesn't matter that no one's listening because I am reflecting and getting thoughts out of my brain. And I used to think thoughts go from your brain to your paper, but really they can just go out. Thoughts are better out of your head than in. Like things just feel like they make so much more sense to me right now. Even just compared to this morning when I felt just as if I had no zest for life, I feel so much better.
may encounter rock here as we explore and settle in.
Where can I put this camera? A friend. Hello. I am feeling just so much more present and calm, and just like my spirits are so much higher. I've just been on a walk and I'm wearing a new comfy jumper. It's so soft, the scarf is new. I'm trying to focus a lot more on using what I have and trying to make better decisions for myself, my bank account and the planet. But this is a brand I wanted to buy stuff for a really long time, so I got a few things and I'm very pleased, and I feel like I am embodying the earthy girl vibes that I've always dreamed of having. So I'm feeling very good right now. I think this video might be a bit all over the place because I've really been focusing on figuring things out and I've not really picked up the camera much, but I think it has been a really important time for me to try and build habits that aren't feeling performative, because obviously when you film a lot, sometimes there is this division between your real self and the person. I had a fright because I heard the front door, but it was just my dad coming home from work. What was I saying? That I feel like there's sometimes a divide between your real self, who you really are deep inside, that you might not want people to see, and the version of yourself that you feel comfortable sharing online. And that may even be so slightly different and you don't mean to be performing at all, but sometimes when the camera is on you behave differently. You're more conscious of the way you act because obviously you're aware that other people are going to see it and it might affect their perception of you. So sometimes it feels like, even though I'm always trying to be my true self, sometimes it can feel like I'm acting a bit, because like when I set up the shot and I walk across the screen, like I have to go back and get the camera, stuff like that. But that's all part of the creative process, so I'm trying to see it as that and not as me being like fake or anything, because I feel like having my truer self be here will let her be seen and make me feel more comfortable in my own skin. So those are my thoughts. But yeah, while I was building these habits and changing my lifestyle a bit, I kind of wanted to spend some time not on camera, because I wanted to make sure that all these habits would stick in my everyday life and not just when I'm filming a video, you know? It makes sense to me. But I do have a few things to share, and the first one being, I've been book shopping. I found a website called Abe Books, and it's kind of like an eBay for books, or like an online marketplace for books. And I mistakenly thought, because all of them are secondhand, I thought I was making a more environmental and sustainable decision by buying secondhand ones, and I thought they would all come together in one parcel from like a warehouse. But it turns out there are all these different sellers and they're all shipping separately. So I have a few bags, among other ones I've already unboxed, which I will share. The first book is Set Boundaries, Find Peace, A Guide to Reclaiming Yourself. And this is the one I'm currently reading. And I didn't even have a bookmark, so I've been using this like little clothing tag. This book is written by, and I hope I pronounce this correctly, I'm very sorry if I don't, Nedra Glover Tawwab. And it's so well written. I'm barely even in, but I'm already learning so much, and it just gets right to the point. These are the ones that I've already opened. It's hard to show them because of the sun, so I'll do like a separate clip of them. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle? Mr. Eckhart. And I had been listening to this in an audiobook form, but I found that it was so profound in a way that it was really difficult for me to take in everything that was happening at the rate it was going at without having to constantly pause it. And I typically listen to audiobooks when I'm like on a walk, so I was kind of thinking like, if I really want to get the most out of this book, I need a physical copy. Although it's secondhand, it's in fine condition, and I've avoided buying books for so long even though I wanted them, because I felt like it was such a waste to buy something that you really only use once unless you have a reason to read it again, like unless it's really good. But obviously when you're buying a new book, you don't know how much you'll enjoy it. So buying all these secondhand ones, it's made me feel more comfortable buying them. So I kind of went a bit crazy and I got all the books I've been wanting to read. This is Flux by, I never know how to say her name, and I really love her YouTube channel because I hear some people say it like, is it a constellation? Orion? Is that a constellation? I don't know what it is. But in my head I always read it Orion. Orion Carlotto. It's poetry. I got Slouching Towards Bethlehem by Joan Didion. My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. Ariel by Sylvia Plath. And this book is quite aged. On the back it says it was £1.25 and inside the previous owner has inscribed her name, Pam Valley, 1982, and there's even a newspaper clipping from July 28th, 1983. I just thought that was so precious, and I couldn't believe that I now own this, and I will treasure it, and I can't wait to read it. Now for the newly arrived books. I got Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. I've listened to maybe half this book on Audible. It's one of those books that I felt like I need to have my own copy of so I can like make notes and read things over and over and over. Kind of like the Power of Now book. The Essence of the Bhagavad Gita, explained by Paramhansa Yogananda as remembered by his disciple Swami Kriyananda. This one actually has a hair on it. I believe this one actually belonged to a library once, so it's got like the plastic cover on it. The Miracle of Mindfulness, a Manual on Meditation by Thich Nhat Hanh, and Women Who Run with the Wool by Clarissa Pinkola Este. A lot of these were just completely random buys, and a lot of them I've been thinking about for a while, but I don't know. I think not denying myself things that I want and not having to have so much reasoning behind everything I do is really freeing. So that was my extensive book haul. But yeah, I've just been kind of taking things slow making sure to check in with myself, and if I ever feel like my thoughts are starting to control me, I kind of like go back to just my breath and try and calm down and just breathe deeply for a while. And I've been doing my meditations every morning and getting to bed on time, reading before bed, and I've even stopped going to the gym for a while just because I felt like my body needed just time to rest. Overall, I'm feeling so much calmer and content and happier, and I don't really know what to think, because when I am rewatching the footage from, I think it was last week or the week before, and I don't know how much of that to include in the video because I don't want to bring any negative energy or emotions upon anyone. I feel like so disconnected from that version of myself already. It's hard for me to know like which version of me is the real me. Is there even such a thing as the real me, or is it all just like ego? I don't know. For me, a big thing that I feel defines me are my actions and my habits, but if they can be so easily skewed, then who am I really? I am someone who is very happy with going on walks and taking photos of nature. That's who I always am. I'm kind of in the middle of filming a plant-based recipes video, and so today I need to go and make some tofu with green beans and rice. I can't wait, and I can't wait to edit that video. I feel like it'll be such a change from my normal stuff, and I want to see what you guys think and if anyone finds it helpful at all and if I should make more. But yeah, I'm just feeling so open now to trying new things and making friends and seeing where the wind takes me, you know. I think I finally come out of that period of feeling scared of the future. I now more so feel like I am accepting of anything that comes my way and I'll figure it out, you know. I have this deep feeling that everything will be fine no matter what, and that I shouldn't worry. So that is something I'm trying to focus on as I go through my life. But thank you for listening to my ramblings. I don't know if I made any sense. I'm feeling a bit distracted right now because I don't normally film when there's anyone home, but then my dad came home early and I can hear him like walking around, and it's kind of freaking me out a little bit. I feel a bit unsettled knowing he might hear my incoherent ramblings about the self and emotions. I think for a long time I let other people's perception of me stop me from doing things I really wanted, but now I'm trying to just do what I want, and if anyone does question it, I'll try and explain it to them and try and help them see like this is something that makes me happy and it doesn't harm anyone, so why not? Anyway, I hope you're having a beautiful week, and thank you for being here with me this time. I feel hopeful, you know? And I'm at the point now where I feel like I need to do a meditation after this, because it's kind of just been me talking and getting all these random thoughts out, and now my brain feels a little bit fuzzy. Let me know what you think of my books, and if you have any book recommendations for me, maybe similar to these, maybe not, maybe completely random, maybe something different. I don't know, and it will take me a while to work through these, so I will update you as I go on how they are and what I learn along the way. Okay, bye bye.